Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage and welcome to episode 17 of The Sims 4. Steve and Natalie are both out at work. We've managed to get something going between Natalie and Elise at the moment, but Steve and Amy we still seem to have a few problems with. That's something that we definitely need to keep working on. It's not helping too much the fact that they're working shifts. That does tend to make things a little bit difficult. So we are going to speed along just a little bit and wait to see what happens. Wonder why Elise has decided to change into something a little more casual there. That's quite interesting. Titillating banter. But she is going to sleep. Fair enough, can't blame her. Everyone needs their 7 PM Sunday nap, so let us fast forward life a little bit more. Start getting some people home from work. We should start seeing some promotions come forward. I think if Natalie works hard, we should start seeing some promotions for her, so you should work hard too. It's not going to put you in the best of moods when you get home, but it should certainly help with things. 11 PM when both Steve and Natalie get back, so we'll find out very soon whether or not they have managed to get a promotion. Amy's only feeling fine, which is not great really. She still wants to do something romantic. She's actually feeling flirty. She wants to hug someone. Now we need Steve to come home. Unfortunately, when Steve comes home, he's not going to be in too good of a state. He wasn't really all that happy when he left, and he was very, very drained. And I would assume when Steve gets home, he's going to be like a walking zombie, which makes life a little bit difficult. So what we're going to do, instead of actually controlling Steve and trying to interact with Amy, we're actually going to control Amy and try and interact with Steve. Okay, quick pause to find out what's going on here. Natalie has been promoted to opening act. She will now make an additional 14 simoleons per hour for a grand total of 54. She has received the following bonuses: 595 simoleons and a Rock of Ages retro stereo. Let's go and have a look at that then. That should be in the household inventory. And wow, that is quite the stereo. That is big. That is very big. I'm not even sure if we've got anywhere where we can realistically put that. We could go in the living room and move the bookshelf and put it in here, but I've already threatened once to sell all of these things, so maybe we'll just hang on. Oh, excuse me. Maybe we'll just hang on to that until we have a bit of a better use for it. Let us carry on with things, and Steve is home as well. Let's pause up there. So, Steve has been promoted to mixologist. He will now make an additional 10 simoleons per hour for a grand total of 38. Still seems underpaid for me. He's also received the following bonus: 515 simoleons and the Umber kitchen sink, which is what exactly? Umber kitchen sink, hygiene, reliability, inspiring decor. I certainly can't see any reason why we shouldn't have a better sink than the one we have, because the current one is a little bit useless, even though it has been a bit upgraded. So in you go, we have a new sink. Fantastic. Let us go back to the sort of life mode, and now the camera wants to stop moving around. So what were we going to do? We were going to control Amy, and we were going to do stuff. She wants to do something romantic. So why don't you do that? And you could do that. Well, at least that one counted. She also wants to hug someone. No, Steve. You see, this is the thing. Steve, why have you... No, because they've just decided to sit down and have a big group conversation. It gets very annoying when they start doing things like that. You want to hug someone, so, you know, here's an idea. Why don't you go ahead and do that? Natalie, while you're home, why don't you go ahead and clean the sink, and then you can... Did we actually ever finish that upgrade? Yeah, continue to install the pulsating massage jets, because you hadn't completed that. You want to level up your charisma. See there again, it's just instantly turned. And now they're both embarrassed. And now they're just refusing to do what I'm asking them to do. No, cancel that. I did hit cancel, didn't I? Yeah, look, I've hit it. There's a cross through it. You shouldn't be doing it. Oh, is it because his energy is just too low? We've got no choice. Oh, that's fine. You want to share your insecurities with someone. I guess you could go and do that with Natalie while she's fixing the shower, or upgrading the shower. I don't suppose there's any reason why you can't do that. No, maybe you can't. I don't know. Maybe you can't do two things at once. So, while things are going on, let's just have a look what Natalie and Steve now need to do to get promoted. Steve needs to reach Mixology level 3 skill, which is already at level 2, so he doesn't have too far to go. And he needs to reach level 3 cooking skill, which he's already at, so that is good. As for Natalie, she needs to earn $100 in tips, or 100 simoleons in tips, from comedy routines or playing instruments. So we're definitely going to have to take her out somewhere with her guitar and see if we can earn some tips. And I think in the meantime, we're just going to speed things along a little bit. She's actually feeling focused now. Why don't you just go ahead and do whatever you'd like to do? So that bath is really dirty. I'm amazed that you didn't clean it, to be honest. You should probably do that when you have finished being in the bath, because it is quite disgusting. Okay, how tired is Amy? Amy's not very tired at all. You need to wake up. We need to sort things out between you two. You want to tell a joke, so let us go ahead. Bright and day. And we want to heartfelt compliment. And we want... Steve, stop it. Stop it. This game can be so infuriating sometimes. And we want to... You can sit together. So we're definitely going to try and sort this out. Right. Get rid of that thought out of your head. So thinking about going to sleep. We're fixing things here. Things that need a lot of fixing. Do an impression. You should work both ways. Tell an engaging story. Try not to get anything that involves them having to get up or insult anybody. Natalie, why don't you go ahead and clean the bath? And Amy's reached level 2 in comedy, which is fantastic. Get to know. We're doing quite well with the relationship, the friendship, but anything else seems to be a little bit more difficult at the moment. You still want to tell a joke, so why don't you go ahead, go into funny, and tell a joke about penguins, because that seems fantastic. You also want to flirt with Steve. Now, even though you want to do it, I'm willing to bet that if I... No, you're not doing that, Steve. I'm willing to bet that even if you try it, it will cause some sort of problem. But we'll try it anyway. We'll see if we can get away with it. So that's one aspiration. Now, it does say there you want to flirt with Steve. So let us try and do it. So that actually seemed to work a little bit. That was actually quite good. We can live with that. Ask about day. Let's carry on with this. Now she wants to kiss someone. Okay. Let us see. Oh, the option was there and I missed it. This may not work. This may all backfire and just damage all of the reparations that we've just spent the last few minutes doing. Oh, great timing there, Natalie. Natalie? That is not your bed. That is your bed. What are you doing? Strange things these Sims tend to do. See, now these two are both trying to go to the wrong bed because Natalie has gone and stuffed everything up. Offer Rose. Did she actually say Steve? I'm convinced sometimes, you know, that I've actually heard the Sims call each other's names. Maybe it's the names that are... maybe it's the names that are actually from the random selection. I've actually heard the names. I'm almost convinced that I've heard the names spoken. So, I don't know. There used to be a game called Black and White. I don't know if anybody has ever... Ah, finally, sorted. I don't know if anybody ever played Black and White, if anyone remembers it, but the game was really weird because it used to ask you to put your name in when you created your sort of profile. And there was a big list of names that the game actually had programmed in, and while you were playing, it used to whisper your name on the wind, and it was very eerie, and you were never quite sure whether you just heard your name or not. And the first time I ever heard it, it freaked me out, and then I looked it up and realised that yes, it was actually a mechanic of the game, that the game used to whisper your name, but that was just like the most unsettling thing I've ever witnessed in a video game ever. But yeah, I do think sometimes, even though these guys just sort of blabble away in Simlish, they often sound like they are mentioning each other's names, which is a little bit weird. So if anyone else is playing this, and if anyone else is using Sims where you have used the random name generator to generate the names, let me know if you've noticed it as well, because I'd like some confirmation that it's not just me going mad. It quite possibly is. And the music's still blaring away at 4:30 AM. Okay, so we've got the relationships in the house sorted out. Good stuff. Could be a little bit better between Elise and Natalie, but that is something we will work on. As for the promotions, we're getting there with that. Not an awful lot we can do at this time in the morning, so let's speed everything up and let people get to a better state of being. We still definitely need to take people to the lounge, because we haven't been to the lounge yet. And it would be nice to go and see the lounge. So I'm assuming it's going to be a bit more like a laid-back sort of, not like the nightclub, but just somewhere where people can sit around, have a drink, have a bit of a social gathering. And that should be Elise off to work. Is it? Think she is. Yep, Elise is off to work. Fantastic. Not sure whether or not she will get promoted. Will be quite nice if she does. Let us have a look. Right, what's Amy up to? At least she's feeling really happy now, which is good. She wants to call someone on the phone. She wants to cook an excellent meal. She wants to buy a microphone stand. Let's just turn this off again. Let's see how long it lasts before somebody turns it back on. Fantastic. Let's just run the speed up a little bit. It'd be nice if we can actually get everybody up and have a little bit of interaction. I suppose Steve's going to be ages before he actually feels like getting up and out of bed. Oh, no, the music's on again. Didn't think it would take all that long. What's Amy off to do now? She's washing up, then she's going to have a drink. Will Steve be out of bed by then, or Amy will have no energy and she'll be in bed, one of the two. Why don't you wake up Steve, and we can go and... No, you're fine. Stop stressing about it. Why don't you go and brighten her day? Stop whinging. What's this on here? We have some pan-fried tilapia. It's only good quality. We're getting quite a lot of good chefs in the house now, which is quite nice. It's difficult for you two to interact because of the kitchen, and it doesn't really make moving around all that easy to do. It's a little bit of a pain, but it's not the end of the world. Steve wants to tell a joke. We can certainly manage that. More choices. Go into funny. Tell a inside joke. Why not? What about Amy? What do you want to do? You still want to call someone. We can't do an awful lot about that right now. Now let's have a look at our options in here. Ask to be girlfriend. Let's try. I'm not sure if we ever got that far last time, or whether they were just kind of seeing each other. Did she just snub him again? Did she just shoot him down? Did she just, yeah. It's so difficult between these two. Let's apologise there. And, flirt again. They've still got like a high sort of meter. There's no reason why things should be bad between them. See, we're certainly managing to sort things out here. It's not really an issue. But sometimes it just seems like you're making progress, and then all of a sudden it just goes terribly wrong, which I suppose is just like real life, really. It all seems to go like that. Let's just see how much we can max out this meter and see if it's still going to end up being a problem. I mean, considering all the problems they have, they were quite happy to share a room. So definitely need to try and sort some of these things out. Let's go for that. Natalie is still in bed. When does Natalie have to be off to work? Not for another 7 hours. So far all is going good. Amy doesn't have to be off for another 22. Steve doesn't have to be off for another 7. So we're not doing too bad along here. Let's see if this is going to work. Or if it's just going to make a complete and total mess of things. Oh, well, that seemed to work. Now she's off. She's bored of you now, which is pretty standard. Try that again. But she's just going back to sleep, isn't she? Oh, no, she has stopped. This is probably going to be another massive negative penalty on the relationship again. Yeah, no, it's gone again. So, you know, how high do you have to get this line up before all of this, you know? I'm confused. This game confuses me sometimes. I mean, okay, I'll be honest. Lots of things confuse me. Lots of things confuse me a lot of the time. But right now, this is confusing me. Let us go for... Oh, the woohoo option has disappeared. Natalie is making a lot of strange noises. And she is off to the... See, these two do seem to be doing relatively well. Which makes me wonder sometimes why things just don't work out, you know. Ask a risque question. It's like if I can get these two up to a state where they'll just sort of automatically get on without me needing to do some sort of interaction to keep them happy, then I can just leave them alone and get on with my life as well as bringing in everybody else's in the house, because that seems like an ideal thing to do. But like I said, these bars are incredibly high considering how they are sort of feeling, which is a little bit weird. I just don't get it sometimes. I don't get you, game. Why you do this to me, Maxis? You're trolling me. I'm sure that's the way you do it. Let's try it the other way around. Let's get Amy to do the asking. Probably not going to work. Not sure how well it balances out, because you would think when you have control of both Sims and you want them both to do something that they would be able to do it. But I'm not sure whether there's some sort of point system to determine whether or not it's going to allow something to happen. Yeah, well, he didn't say no. Okay, that should have sorted that issue out. Brilliant. Okay, fine. So that relationship is official and sorted. So, Steve, you get on and do what you need to do. That is going to go in the sink. So, this actually reminds me a little bit like of playing Black and White, because in Black and White, it's a really old game now. I mean, I don't know. It's probably well over 10 years old. It's probably more like 15. But it was a bit of a sort of a god sim. And you could actually sort of... You had your little worshippers that used to run around and do stuff, but you could kind of interfere with the world around you by picking things up and moving them. And that's what I feel like I'm doing here. I mean, do these people ever wonder where the plates just magically disappear off to? Are they not the slightest bit sort of concerned that plates just sort of disappear and end up in the sink? And it's very difficult. These two should definitely... he wants to hug, so let's go ahead and do that just for the aspiration points. Trying to build up as many aspiration points as we... Oh, just become good friends. Well, that's good. But yes, they are now in a relationship, which is good. But see, that sounded like friends, even though it is in Simlish. What is Natalie up to? She is playing Blick Block. Well, that's fair enough, I suppose. Still wants to make a friend. Are you off work today? No, you are off to work in 4 hours. So, we're definitely going to need to find someone to take to the lounge. I really want to see it. It's one of the few places that I, as yet, haven't seen. Let's just play God and scare our Sims. We can leave that around. Natalie has just reached level 2 of the video gaming skill. So let's speed things up for people and let people get on about their daily lives. Natalie, you can go over here and invite this random person in. And we'll just... Or maybe you can just carry on playing on the computer, I don't know. Steve is going in the bath. Natalie's going to answer the door. I love how they actually walk out the door, walk past the person that they're speaking to, invite them in, and then just sort of walk back in the house and don't really follow up with anything. It's a very, very weird way of doing things. What's wrong with you? You can't give her a compliment because for some reason you can't actually path to her. What exactly is in the way of you doing that? You seem to be able to walk beyond her quite clearly. Yeah, it's obviously she's obviously stuck somewhere. That's weird. So, I mean, that is a bug that has been in The Sims since, like, forever, where you can't actually do something because you can't get to somebody, which is a little bit weird. We're just going to pause up because Elise is home and she has been promoted. She's been promoted to intelligence researcher. She'll now make an additional 2 simoleons per hour. Whoop-de-doo. For a grand total of 19. She's also received the following bonuses. 349 simoleons, the Swiveler, and intelligence research on the computer. In order for her to get her next promotion, she needs to reach level 2 of the programming skill, which is a little bit weird. Let's just have a quick look and see what exactly it was that she did receive. The Swiveler, wow, that is a nice chair, and so much so, in fact, I think we're going to get rid of the old office chair, and we are going to put in the Swiveler. What does that actually give us? Does it not say? Comfort 7 and Confident Decor 2. Very nice. At least it wasn't just like another sofa or a wall clock or just some random pile of junk just to stick in the corner of the room. That is quite nice. Why don't you go over there and just go and scare Natalie, because it sounds fun to do. Still can't interact with Summer because apparently she's still glitching out and she's, I don't know, stuck in the sofa or glitching through the floor or something. They're still getting on. That is good. So, why quite the mischief skill. I've never bothered with mischief yet. It's one of the choices from this line that I haven't actually the trick with hand buzzer. We've got to do that. She's just doing it all. She's just doing it on her own now. I didn't even tell her to do that one. You want to buy a chess table? Wow, that is an awesome animation. And I don't want to buy a chess table. Not yet. There's got to be other ways to alleviate the boredom. Suggest fun activities. What a fun activity. In fact, I don't want to know what fun activities. Oh, there we go. It all has been revealed. Summer has popped around to use the computer. That's what Sims do here. They come around and use all your stuff. Steve's having an amazing time there in the bath. It's probably a good idea that is, you know, censored, because no idea what is going on there. Elise wants to play a computer game. Do you know what, Elise? You should totally do that. When you finished eating, that is what you're going to do. Natalie is going to head off to work, and then we'll take someone off to the lounge. In fact, we may even just take Elise to the lounge just to cheer her up, because I think she needs it. So, we'll do that on the next video. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you are still enjoying The Sims 4, and I'll see you next time. So until then, goodbye for now.